Crowd of boys, peace. What's good with you boys out there, man? I come to talk to you boys today about semen retention and how your sexuality is spiritual. And I already had this topic written down in my notes, but I had a comment in one of my previous audios on the chakra system. I can't remember. I think it was the sacral chakra I was speaking on in that audio. Go check it out if you haven't. If you come across this audio, go check out all the audios if you did. But in the comment section, somebody left a comment saying that yoga is demonic. Google it. And my response was, demons are a spirit. So therefore, with that said, hence the word spirit, demons are spiritual. This is all spiritual. There's polarity. There's a good side of spirituality. There's a bad side of spirituality. Whether you're a Christian, I know you've seen Christians do some wicked shit, and there's a good side of Christianity. I don't knock nobody for their religion, their creed, whatever they subscribe to. That's on you. You're your own individual person. You subscribe to what you subscribe to, whatever works for you. If it's Jesus that works in your life, then blessings to you. If it's Allah that works for you, once again, blessings to you. I'm not here to have you follow me or any type of religious beliefs. Whatever you believe in, that's what you believe in. The key thing is that you believe in yourself and you believe in the path that you're going. You dig? But understand that there's demons everywhere. There's demons inside of you. Now, whether you exercise those demons is on you. All right? Sex is demonic too. When you don't have the mindset and you're going into sex with no purpose, just pleasuring yourself, feeding your ego, having sex with somebody that you don't really care about, don't really love, have no intentions of the future with, don't plan to have kids with, don't want to build a real connection with that person, it's a demonic act as well. On the other side of that coin, sex can procreate. It can bring a child into this world. Sex can also build a more spiritual connection with the female that you're having sex with, to build a closer connection. That's why we have something that's called soul ties. You're more connected with that person. Your DNA is mixing in with that person, as well as that person's DNA is mixing in with yours through skin, through touching. And it's the spirit dwelling within two counterparts, between two people that are coming together. No pun intended. You dig? But with that said, when you have a different mindset and the intention that you have behind this power of sex and what it does to the female and the male, and if you're having sex and it's not with the intention to have a child, then it has to be with the intention to build a more spiritual bond with that person, a closer bond with that person, and it is an expression of yourself to that person, of how you feel about that person. All right? Sex is demonic when it's done in a irregular way. The way you present yourself, the way you present your body, or your body language, your mindset, when you engage in conversation, or your thought processes leading to making decisions, how you handle and cope with your emotions and your feelings, and last, the spirit that you move with, all has to do with your sexuality. It's your expression, your facial expressions even. You know, when you look at certain females, they can tell if you're lusting after them, the way you look at them, your body language, how it comes off. You know, if you're staring a woman down too much and you're looking, her up and down, you can analyze a woman and just, look at her shape. But if you're doing it in your mind, everything through your eyes manifests out. So women can pick up on your energy. Once again, previous audio about eye contact and what it gives off to other people. People can tell what type of spirit, for the most part, that you move with. But at the same time, they can also pick up on certain things about you, about your sexuality. Like, damn, he's one of the men that didn't look at my breast, when he was talking to me. He was keeping straight, direct eye contact with me. If she's walking in front of you, she looks back and she catches you looking at her butt or whatever, but if you're looking at her when she's looking back, women notice that. But that's just an expression of your sexuality and where your mind is at. Now, not saying at all times your mind will be not on sex, on the semen retention journey. If you're around women and you analyze women, or if you're entertaining a female, of course, you're going to think about sex. This is our nature. And I'm going to dive more into it about our human nature and as a man, what our nature is on this journey and how we express our sexuality. But when we're on the semen retention, our sexuality still exposes out and comes out through us when we practice this. It's just that it's not as overly sexualized as we once was before this journey. That's the only difference. We tone it back. We kill it. We starve our ego. Our ego is slowly dying, and we're suppressing certain demons that once was, and we don't let that come out as often. Now, this spirit of sexuality, when it's time to get down and busy, certain things may come out. Whatever fetishes you into, my boys, that's on you. Once again, I don't judge anybody. I don't, whatever you're into, that's on you. But understand that when it comes down to do, right? When you're with a female, when you engage into it, and once again, I'm still on retention, I'm still retaining, I'm entertaining the female, but I know myself that I'm going to be able to go in. I'm going to let that energy out in a way that is going to seem as if it is something demonic. I'll put that in quotations, demonic, but that spirit of what's been held in sexually, I'm speaking on. Sexually, when I'm speaking on, when it finally comes out with the person that I'm dealing with, and if I have genuine connection with that person, it's going to come out in a forceful way. It's going to be more powerful. Being that I have the knowledge of what I'm doing, who I'm doing it with, is going to be an expression of what I have been through on my journey, what my purpose is, and how I'm trying to carry forward with a sexual active life. Right now, currently at the moment, I'm not sexually active. I'm just speaking, towards the future and how I feel my sexuality should be expressed, and how I'm maintaining and containing myself to not just express myself to anybody and everybody. All right. The next thing I want to touch on, what I just said with being not available to anybody and everybody. When you move like that, you present exclusivity. You're exclusive. You're not for anybody and everybody. Even when you talk to a female, 2 females, 3 females, whatever, right? Certain females will pick up that you're not having sex with all these females. You're just talking to them or whatever, or even if it's one female. All right, that's the type of time I'm on. I'm only entertaining one female. I have other females in my phone or whatever. I don't hit them up, but I'm entertaining one female. Only one female right now is able to get my attention. So that's what it is right now. But what I present and what you boys should be presenting is exclusivity. You're not for anybody and everybody. Your presence, your frequency is rare. You have to treat it as if it is the most precious thing on this earth that you have. And when women pick up on that, when they notice that, damn, he's not entertaining other females, he's just focusing in on me, This is a rare commodity. This is like a one of one. Depending on where you at, if you're around other people who's retaining, it is what it is. But when you present that, you stick out from anybody else, even if she's entertaining other dudes, if she's talking to other dudes, you still stick out. It's just up to you of how you handle the situation. Once again, being emotional, if you find out that she is talking to other dudes or whatever the case may be, you just let her be. You can't control that. All you can do is control yourself and make the decision if you want to keep on speaking to this girl exclusively or if you just want to fall back. Your essence, this rare essence, is your nature. This is your makeup and what you have obtained through retention, and this is what carries you. Your sexuality at one point before semen retention, however you was moving, now it has transformed and changed. This now carries you with that certain spirit, which is still your sexuality, your preferences, how you exercise your energy. This has now changed you, and this is what carries you now. And understand that your expressions, how you express yourself, your mannerisms, your posture, once again, how you speak, how you communicate, this all has to do with your sexuality, where your mindset is. Because if you're talking to a female and the first thing that comes out your mouth is about sex, that's going to follow you, and that's going to be on this woman's mind, or it's going to be on the person's mind, even if it's a dude and you're talking to him and you're talking about another female in a sexual way. Automatically, whenever you get around this dude, or whenever you get around people, or when you get around a female, they're going to think of you in that aspect of this dude is very sexual. You know what I mean? If he talks about sex, he womanizes, he talks about women in this type of manner. But if you flip it and you talk about women in another way, and you talk around dudes about other topics other than women and sex and who you hitting on and who you cracking on, then that's ultimately on you, but that's still an expression of your sexuality. Your mindset has to change. Your mindset has to be open on this journey, and that's how you embrace the new you and you express yourself sexually in other ways. When you transmute this energy in the beginning stage of being over sexualized or your sexuality, it's a little bit tougher because your thoughts are kind of intrusive. That's where the urges come, and that's where it's hard to really decipher how to move about it. Even another subscriber, he dropped in the comments that he's been feeling emotional lately, and as a man, there's kind of this stigma or this negative overtone of a man being emotional. Once again, we are human, and this is nature. We will feel emotions. We'll feel afraid. We'll feel scared, mad, angry. But it's not about us as a man feeling emotional. It's about how we embrace it and how we react to it, how we deal with it, how we cope with those emotions. It's not a bad thing as a man to feel emotional. That knows that you're alive. You dig what I'm saying? Feeling emotional isn't something bad. We need to embrace it, but we need to transmute that energy into something positive if it's a negative emotion. Being happy is an emotion. Feeling joy is an emotion. Crying tears of joy is an emotion. But on the other side, crying because you're hurt is an emotion as well. But once you cry that shit out, now it's about how you react to it. Some way, somehow, you have to let certain energies out. So crying, being angry, being mad, you go to the gym, do some push-ups, go for a run. But it's all about transmuting that energy. So once when you start to feel certain energies such as fear, worrying, anger, the key is that we have the power within us to transmute that energy and put it towards something else. And it's the same thing with sex. Feeling those urges, transmuting that energy, and putting it towards something else until we can get a real grip and grasp on what it is that we can tap into and transmute that energy towards, we have to have a plan for that and put that plan in motion. But this is our sexuality being exercised in that form and faction, that we can recognize those feelings and those emotions and being able to deal with them in a healthier way. The last thing about sexuality and your sexuality being spiritual is that the pleasure now that you get is more so about seeing or being a part of other people's happiness, or having that happiness within yourself and being content with what you have going on in your sexual life, and being able to spread that around other people and have that being the standard. And once when you see people react to you, that brings you happiness, because now you're more capable of being around certain people. You can decipher who you can be around and express yourself freely, talk about any type of topics that you want without sex having to come up. And this is especially with females. I am so happy that I get to be around a female where sex doesn't have to always come up or be the topic or be it's tension in the conversation because sex gets brought up or doesn't get brought up, or it has to get brought up. That's not the only thing that's on my mind, and realizing that and dealing with the female that I'm dealing with, that sex is not always a part of the conversation, or it's not the main topic, that makes me happy. And of course, for females, that makes them happy because they feel like they're not an object to you if you're on retention, and it's a give and take thing. So that transfer of energy, once when you're around that, it's a good feeling. People feel good around you. You feel good around that person. And it's a better and easier way and conversation of being around that said person. Another thing about exclusivity and having the pleasure of seeing and being around and a part of people's happiness. Imagine if, just for example, if I had like a meet and greet, right? Of everybody, subscribers on this platform, on this channel. If we do a meetup, right? Just think about it. If we do a meetup and we're around each other, what the vibe will be. You're around people who are retaining, whether it be 2 weeks, 2 days, it don't really matter. 3 months, a year, 3 years. Imagine we have a meet and greet and we all chill, kick back, and cook out, whatever. It don't really matter. I'm just shooting out an example out there. Imagine if we do something like that and you're being around that type of energy. And you're able to be around men who can have conversations and network for real, without the topic of women or, sex. And of course, if you're in that platform, we're going to talk about semen retention and sex or whatever. But the conversation isn't going to be over sexualized. This is a good expression of sexuality, being able to talk about it with other men also, and not have it come off as weird or anything that's wicked. But it's more spiritual, being around spiritual beings with the same mindset, that's doing the same practice as you, that's seeking more information. It's good to be around good energy like that. And just imagine the emotions that you'll feel around these men or people, and you get to see their joy and their happiness, and being around good energy, it's contagious. And it can only affect you in that positive manner. Once when you're around positivity like that, there's no shaking that. So that's why I say, on this journey, when your sexuality is spiritual and becomes more spiritual, your pleasure centers get more enhanced around feeling good energy. That's what I mean by that. Not going out your way to make other people happy. You have to be happy with yourself. You have to have that for yourself first. But as you express yourself in a certain manner, and through your sexuality, how you have harnessed your sexual energy, the way it expresses out is in different forms. All right. So with that said, my boys, Y'all take this information. Once again, drop something in the comments, your opinions, your ideas. Any donations come to the channel. Look in the descriptions, Cashapp, even super chats, PayPal. Somebody just sent me a PayPal just recently as I was doing this audio. I appreciate you. I don't got your name right now. I can't stop. I just want to end the video, but shouts out to you. You know who you are if you come across this audio. Appreciate you. Anything that comes to the channel, any donations that come to the channel gets brought back to you in the form of the knowledge and the wisdom. This person, this subscriber who sent the PayPal, they have an issue with the audio, or not, I shouldn't say an issue, but they want the audio to be better. The audio isn't going to just enhance itself overnight. If you can't tell, I do audio sometimes outside. I like to get in tune with nature. I get my downloads when I'm outside, and I come to you boys with the content sometimes right away when I'm outside. I used to do audio in my truck to close off sound. So if you hear birds chirping, cars passing by while I'm outside, you have to deal with it. I'm sorry. For the time being, I live with roommates. So once again, I remove myself when I do audio, because I don't want to disturb my roommates. Also, I don't want everybody in my business. So, wherever I decide to do audio at, it's more myself alone, and I'm out in nature. Oh yeah, I was saying I used to do audio in my truck, but my truck is down right now. So it's either outside or when my roommates aren't around, I do it in my room. So the audio quality is what it is right now until things switch up and change in my life right now, where I'm able to have my own office or studio where I could, control the sound and the quality. Then I can get to that point. But any donations, man, is going right back into the channel. That energy is coming back to you regardless. Whether I go take your money and invest it in a book, if I take your money and invest in a microphone, I can't bring the microphone outside. Once again, I'm in a place where I respect everybody else's space. I don't want to be too loud in my space, giving out info. And once again, I don't want everybody in my business. So toughen up. You got to deal with it for some time, or whatever the case may be. You won't see that change in the audio overnight or too quickly. But I'll do my best to bring you the best information and knowledge that you can gain. You just have to decipher through the audio, stick with it, deal with it. And if you can't, then, there's other channels out there that you can go to. I like to say you can beat it, you can kick rocks, you can log off, if you don't like the frequency, you can change the station. You dig what I'm saying? It's not to be rude or anything like that. I'm a playful guy. I like to play around and say slick shit. You need to be able to handle that as a man. You got to have tough skin. But it's nothing personal. I don't take it personal or anything. But, if you want to see changes in the channel, I'm not going to say I need the donations, but the donations do help the channel grow. All right. So with that said, my boys, as always, with love and peace.